Okay, so let me first start this video with saying I think BuWizz has an exceptional product. The BuWizz 3.0 Pro. I have 13 of them. I've clearly invested in this. This isn't going to be a video of me trying to shit on BuWizz in any way, shape, or form. Excuse my language. This is just for me to show that there is a problem here. And this isn't like I'm not trying to be a hater. This is just me showing you that there is a problem. So really quickly, for those of you who are new to the channel, this is my Audi R8 LMS GT2. This is the car that I've been building. It's got active suspension, double wishbone on all four corners. That's not the point. The point is, this is powered by 6 BuWizz 3.0 Pro. Right now, there is a latency issue that's kind of becoming so much of a problem that this can't even be used right now. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. And I will move these out of the way. I will bring this over here. Alright, so first BuWizz, this is for steering. This should have the lowest latency, so I'm steering first BuWizz. Second one, there's a motor. Third one, there's a motor. Fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, all of them have motors. At the end of the day, all of them have motors. These 5, and then the first one is going to be for steering. So I'm going to grab my phone. We're going to go into BuWizz, and we're going to create a new profile. So if I just create a new profile, oh, I created 2. Let me trash this one. Yes, yes. Yes. Alright. I'm going to delete all those profiles. I don't need this one anymore either. So, new profile. I'm just going to click on it. Nothing in here yet. Control layout. I'm going to go and I'm going to grab a vertical slider. Set it there. And a horizontal slider. Oh, I didn't need this. So, we'll delete that. Why did it get all weird? Okay. So we've got a vertical slider, we've got a horizontal slider. First thing we're going to do, we're going to connect the first one. I'll let it do its checking its device firmware thing. Once that's done, everything is going to be in port B. So this was for the steering, horizontal slider. We'll go ahead and select that. So we're going to hit drive. And what you'll notice is, I'll move this over to the center so this can be seen. There's plenty. And there's almost no latency. It's extremely responsive. I do think that the natural ramp time, or the stock ramp time on this, is 0.13 seconds. So 130 milliseconds of latency between when I move the slider and when this should react, plus whatever the latency from here to here and all of that is. But it should be about 0.13 seconds. So 1 BuWizz for steering, not a problem. So let's go ahead and let's add the second BuWizz. We'll go ahead and add it, let it check its firmware, don't touch anything. We're going to go back to port B because all of them are going to be in B. This is going to be a vertical slider. So we'll move this over. These 2 have now been connected. And we'll go ahead and hit drive. And I'm going to keep this at like a 45-degree angle. Okay, so almost no latency. I let go. But almost no latency. So 2 is working okay. So now we're going to move on to 3. I'll go ahead and turn this one on. Go ahead and connect it. Let it do its checking device firmware thing. That's done. It's connected. Port B, vertical slider. So let's go ahead and try this out. So again, we're going to hold it about a 45-degree angle. Now this one's not even working. issue with the cable? What is happening right now? Alright, so all of that is working as intended. I think there may be a cable issue. That's on me. That's not on BuWizz. Don't take that as any kind of a slight towards BuWizz Motors. That's on me. So just take that with a grain of salt. So now we have 3 connected. And you saw no latency. So theoretically, you could have 1 servo, PF servo, and 5 PF motors, or PF buggy motors. Taking up all of the PF ports. And then you could use the powered up ports for all the lights, or you could do 6 buggy motors in the PF ports, and then use like an M motor, a powered up M motor or L motor in one of the powered up ports for steering using a center steering thing or whatever, the module. But now we're going to add 4. So go ahead and turn this on. Came up. I'll go ahead and add it. I'll let it do its thing. It's connected. I'm going to go ahead and port B, vertical slider, and we'll go to drive. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it about a 45-degree angle. And go ahead and start the motors. Sliders all the way up. Let go. So clearly there's already an issue. So I'm going to hit back. I'm going to go in, and just to kind of go through this, I'm going to turn the 5th one on, get it connected, go through the same thing really quick, put it in port B, a vertical slider, and 6th one. Okay, port B, vertical slider, just to check. Okay, that's done. I'm going to hit drive. I'm going to put this all the way to the right. All the way up on the vertical slider, nothing's happening. So with the latency issue, not only do they not all start or stop at the same time, when I press up on this, there's clearly a delay. I've got it all the way up right now. I'm going to let it go, set the phone down, keep my hands right here, and any second now. Hope and prayer. So, anyhow, that's the first big problem. There's a quality of life problem that, honestly, I don't care that much about. If you go all the way back, it should disconnect the BuWizz here. I can close out of the app, and that is the only way for these to disconnect. For whatever reason, inside of the BuWizz app, if I connect to it, it doesn't work. So I'm going to go ahead and turn these off. No reason to have them on anymore. Put my phone over here. So that's with 6 BuWizz. I have 13, and now I'm not trying to use all 13 on a single device. My R8 that I showed previously uses 6. 6 is unusable. I want to reiterate a previous point. I think BuWizz has a great product from a BuWizz 3.0 Pro standpoint. I will not comment on BuWizz 2.0. I don't have any of them. I don't know if the same issue is happening. So that's not going to be something that I comment on. The only thing I can comment on is the current issue I'm having with the BuWizz 3.0 Pro. I don't have any gripes about their motors. That's not an issue I have at all. The issue is solely on the latency issue that I'm having between the BuWizz 3.0 Pro and either my phone or the motors or something that is happening in the firmware. Now, with that being said, I have tried this on an iPhone 10, a different iPhone 13, and an iPhone 15 Pro Max, along with an iPad. every single iOS device has this issue, and it's had this issue since the August update, which I believe was 3.4.15. Since that update, the functionality was broken. Now, with the most recent one that came out, I believe it was yesterday, which would have been February 10th of 2025, I can now use 3 with no issue instead of 2. 3.4.15 only allowed me to use 2 with no issue. 3.4.6, I believe it is, now allows me to use 3 without an issue. But the moment you add 4 or more, you start introducing this latency. And it seems like the more you add, the worse the latency is, or the more exacerbated the issue is. Now, this has been a problem since August of 2024. I have missed a convention or two already because the car is not in a drivable state. I'm also planning to go back to Brickworld 2024 in Schaumburg, Illinois, with this as my kind of Halo piece. Now, I do have a C8 Corvette that is a commission build for a friend. Also is going to be powered by BuWizz. But his is going to be a C8 Corvette, which is a V8, which will only have 5 because it'll only have 8 motors instead of 10, like the V10 in the Audi R8. But my friend asked me to do this back in, I believe it was June of last year, right after Brickworld. And I got the design of the car, got it all done, went to go test it, and it had been a couple of months because work, and quickly found out that not only is the C8 not working, the R8 isn't working either. And it's not specific to my Apple iPhone. I've tested with multiple phones and an iPad. The only thing that I haven't tested it with is an Android because I shouldn't have to buy a new phone to test to see if this works. And at this point, I don't know what else to do. I've been in contact with them. I think they are aware of the issue. This isn't the first video I've uploaded. It'll be the first one that is public. Specifically about this issue and the details, what's going on with it. But if this isn't working, one of two things is going to have to happen. I'm either going to have to design my own solution, which is going to have a lot of time and money and make me a competitor in the marketplace, which in all honesty, I don't want to do. Or I'm going to have to find a different solution, whether that's going with RC parts and it's no longer Lego or Lego compatible, or I go with, I don't know, Mold King or Kata or whoever else can supply something along this neighborhood where I can have a functional vehicle. I would prefer BuWizz. Again, like I've said, let's say that these are $200 a piece. I've spent over $2,500 just in BuWizz 3.0 Pro. I love their product. I love the idea. I liked the app until it stopped working back in August of last year. I still think the product itself is great, both from a BuWizz 3.0 perspective and a BuWizz buggy motor. I think they're great products. Unfortunately, right now there seems to be a software issue with the app that seems to be spread across all iOS. I don't know if it's happening on Android or not. I don't have an Android to test, but for me right now, between the two iPhone 13s, an iPhone 15, and an iPhone X, or an iPhone 10, that's 4 different phones, and an iPad, it doesn't seem to be specific to one device running one specific firmware, because all 3 of them are running, or all 4 phones, but 3 different types of phones, 2 13s, an X, and a 15, are running different firmwares. So it doesn't seem to be firmware on iOS specific, it doesn't seem to be model on iOS specific. But again, if I had an Android, I'd test it on an Android. I have a feeling I would find the same results, but if I don't, then clearly there's something wrong with the iOS infrastructure and the communication between iOS and Bluetooth and the BuWizz 3.0 Pro. But I really don't want to have to buy a new phone just to test the theory. So with that being said, I wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on and kind of why content has been not there lately. This issue has been plaguing me for the last almost 6 months. And let me pull this back over. This is the Audi R8 chassis. I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places for all of the BuWizz. They'll just, as soon as I get them, I can go ahead and literally just snap them in, put them in place for all of the places that they're going to be. I've already got it all laid out. Just unfortunately, the actual BuWizz bricks themselves, the technology or power source behind the car is not working. So any of the updates I've made, like adding more rigid anti-roll bar, messing with the suspension a little bit, the suspension geometry specifically in the front, none of that can be tested, at least not at speed, because the power source isn't working. So just wanted to give you guys an update. I'll probably have something else on the redesign of the R8 chassis out soon. I haven't even started filming on that, to be honest with you, but it is on the docket to be done. But yeah, I just want to make sure that you guys were aware of the BuWizz issue, what specifically is happening, where the problem occurs, at least in my experience, and how much of a problem it's starting to become when you're using more than 3 BuWizz. If your project is using 3 or less BuWizz, I'm going to still recommend them because it works, and I like their product. But if you're looking to use more than 3 BuWizz 3.0 Pro specifically on any of your models, there is a huge latency issue, and if it's something like a car where you have to have reaction speed or you're going to crash, I would not recommend BuWizz. It seems to be somewhere along the lines of a catastrophe waiting to happen. And as you've seen, even 6 of these at $200 a piece, that's $1,200, plus the motors, plus the genuine Lego servo, plus all of the parts or whatever. If you crash it, specifically because of a software issue, you're out money, and that's not going to feel good. So at the end of the day, just wanted to make sure that you guys were all aware of the issue that I'm having, why content hasn't been coming out. Anyhow, feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, but I do appreciate you guys taking the time. Y'all have a great way. Stay safe.